In the last module, we learned how to use the coordinate plane, and now we're actually going to learn how to use the coordinate plane in processing. So in processing, you can use the coordinate plane to make shapes. And the way we make shapes is by using different shape functions. So there's three shape functions you can make, or three shapes you can make in i3 processing. There is the circle shape, there is the ellipse, the rectangle, and the triangle. We're going to start out with the ellipse, because that's the easiest one. Then we're going to move on to the rectangle, and then finally we'll do the triangle. And to close out the module, we're going to learn about the fill function. So processing is a little bit weird as to how the coordinate plane works. It's still more or less the same, but I'm just going to go over it quickly so there's less confusion. So in processing, let's just put this in the center. In processing, so the coordinate plane normally works like this, right? This is the center, and then going down here, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, and negative 1, 2, 3, 4, and then negative 1, 2, 3, 4 going that way, and 1, 2, 3, 4 going up. But processing does not work that way. I don't know why that is. I think it's a little bit dumb, but it's okay. We just have to deal with it. So in processing, the way it works is it's like this. So think of it as the coordinate plane being like this, right? So the origin is in the top corner right here. This is the origin. So these numbers here, the x axis works the same. So this is going to be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, going that way. But the y-axis works a little bit differently. Even though this is going down, instead of it decreasing, going from 0, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, it actually increases. So it starts from 0 and it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So for example, the point 1, comma 1 would be here, and the point 2, comma 2 would be here, right? So it essentially works the same, but it's at this corner up here, and then the y-axis is just positive. And the last thing that you need to know is that the way the units are measured in the coordinate plane on processing are by pixels. So pixels are very small. Like that's not even, like this little dot I just made is not even the size of a pixel. If I had to guess, there's about like 800 pixels or so. It says 800 pixels wide and like 700 high. And then that's how you do it. So remember, keep that in mind when you're putting in different measurements. Now that we've gotten that over, let's get into coding. Let's do some funner stuff. So how do we make an ellipse in processing? So the ellipse is very simple. You just write ellipse, comma, parentheses, and then you put in the 4 values in between. So the first value you're going to put in is the x-coordinate. So it's going to be where the center of your ellipse is going to be. The second value is going to be your y-coordinate. So again, it's representing the center, so it's high, and then it's representing like the x is horizontally, and then the y is up and down. And then the third value is the width, so how fat you want your ellipse to be, and the height is how tall you want it to be. So I'll do a demonstration now. So we have it already, I just preset it up already. I set up the background to save time, so let's just do it. So ellipse, okay. And the first value, let's just make it 100, comma, 100, comma, 100, comma, 100. So it's going to be, the x value is 100, the y value is 100, it's going to be 100 wide and 100 tall, so it's going to basically look like a circle. So let's just press play and see what it's going to end up looking like. So the circle shows up very clearly right here. It is about 100 pixels in and 100 pixels down, so that makes sense. And it's about, and it looks to be about 100 pixels diameter. So this all checks out. So let's say if you want to put it in the middle, you go like this. If you want to put something in the middle, what you do is you basically find the center point of your workspace, which is what this is called, and then you input those as your values. So because it's a square and we know the values, it's 800 by 800 wide, what we do is we just divide it by 2. So it's going to be 400, 400. Like that, and then we just press play. Boom, it's in the center. So you can play around with that. Take a couple of minutes to kind of mess with it. I mess around with the sizes a little bit. So I'll just do a few more examples. So we go 400, 300, 100. It'll be really fat, and so you can just mess around with that. It's super simple. It's super easy. So this should be very straightforward for you guys. The next thing we're going to learn how to do is how to do the rectangle function. The rectangle function is essentially the same thing, but the biggest difference between the rectangle function and the ellipse function is where the center point is. But before we get into that, I'll just go over the rectangle function, the very basics of it. So like the ellipse function, you're going to for the first value you put in after writing rect, which is the name of the function, you're going to put in the x coordinate and the y coordinate, and then you're going to put in how wide and how tall you want it to be. But this is the important part. There's a big difference between the rectangle and the ellipse. So in the ellipse, the x coordinate and y coordinate give you the center of the ellipse. But for the rectangle, the x coordinate and the y coordinate do not give you that. They give you the corner. They give you the top right corner, the top left corner. So this corner right here is what your x coordinate and y coordinate represent. So it's just important to keep that in mind when you're coding it. So let's do an example. So you just go direct, then we go, just do 100, comma, 100, comma, 100, comma, 100. So it showed up, the correct angle is about 100 by 100, right? Which seems about right if you remember the size of the circle that we made. But as you can see, it's not exactly in the same position as the circle was. It's lined up by the corner. So let's try centering the rectangle. This time it's a little bit trickier, but we start from the same place that we do with the circle. So let's just start by putting in 400, 400, which if you don't remember is the half of the width and length of our workspace. We'll do 400, 400. So as we know, it's not going to end up being in the middle. It's a little bit off center. And I've told it, this is because it's aligns via the corner here rather than in the center. So it's super easy fix. It's just a little bit more annoying and something else we have to deal with whenever we're using the rectangle function. So when we center it, we got to take into account the size of the rectangle. So if it's 100 wide, then we have to find half of that, half of the width, and subtract it from our x coordinate. So if we so half of 100 is 50, so let's just do 350. That, then we have to do the same exact thing to the y coordinate, like this. So 350, 350, 100, 100. So as you can see, it's perfectly in the center. So let's go into MS Paint again to get a better idea as to how this works. So I think I didn't do it. It's a little bit easier to explain that way. So here we are in MS Paint again. I'm going to pull this over here so we can see it like that. And then let me just erase all of this stuff. Okay. we have our rectangle like this, right? And this here is the center of the rectangle. We want to put it in the middle, but if we put it in the middle, it's a little bit off kilter. So we can compensate by that by kind of moving this point here into the middle, like that. Not literally, but kind of in our heads when we're doing these calculations to move it around. So how do we get this point here? Well, what we can do is we can take, as you can see, if the middle, it's going to be half of this part here, and half of the height and half of the width. So if we just go half of here, then half of here, we'll get the middle. So that's the logic in subtracting half of the middle from the rectangle, from the x and y coordinates. Okay. So the next part we're going to learn about is the triangle. The triangle is a little bit trickier. It's kind of annoying, but it makes the most logical sense. I just saved it for last because it takes the most steps. So as you can see, the way you start it is you just write triangle and parentheses, but instead of 4 values, you're going to have 6 values. Don't be intimidated by this. It's very easy to learn. It just has a lot of things that you have to think about. So instead of before, where each shape had a center point where you would place it and then you would align it and choose size, because a triangle does not always have a quote-unquote center, like consistent point. What it does is it lets you choose each point of the triangle. So you give each point you want it to be on. For example, let's go back to MS Paint. Let's just erase this again. For example, let's have our coordinate plane here, like that. So instead of giving like 1 point here and then making a triangle, what it does is you give it 1 point, 2 points, and 3 points, and then it connects the points like this. You can put the points anywhere. There's no right or wrong way of doing it. It works no matter what. Awesome. So PowerPoint. The first point you're going to put into your function is the first coordinate of your vertex, which is the first point of your triangle. The second point would be your y coordinate for the first vertex. Then the third value you put in is the x coordinate for the second vertex. Fourth is the y coordinate for the second vertex. The fifth is your x coordinate for your third vertex. And the last value you put in is your y coordinate for your third vertex. So let's do an example. Okay, so let's just do triangle 100, 100, and then 400, 400, 50, and then 200, 200, like this. And then we'll press play. Boom. So this is what our triangle looks like. The first point here is 100, 100, then we're at 400, 50 up here, then 200, 200. So the triangle is probably the most annoying to shape, but once you get used to it, it's very easy. So I just recommend you kind of practice the triangle. Obviously, you practice all the shapes, but the triangle in particular. I think the best way of practicing the shapes is by trying to make pictures using the shapes, and I think it gets very easy. Okay, so now we've covered shapes and processing. This is the last part of this module, and this is going to be the fill command. So what does fill do? Fill adds color to the shape. And it works exactly the same way. It works the same way as the background function. You put in the RGB values into the shape. So the first value being the red value, the second value being the green value, and the third value being the blue value. And if you want to color a shape, you just put it right before the shape. For example, let's go to here. Let's just do fill let's just go 0, comma 240, comma 100, like this, just a random color. And then if we press play, like that, it turns green. Now if you want to add more shapes, we can just go rect 100, comma 100, just not do 100, let's do 500, comma 500, comma 200, comma 100, like this. And then we click play. Boom. So as you can see, the rectangle is also colored green. If you want to change the color of the rectangle, we'll just put a fill before it, and that should change it. We just go fill. Let's just go 0, comma 0, comma 0, like this, and then we'll run it. And it turns get a black square. So this is the fill function is very simple. If you want to change the color of a shape, you simply put it right before all the shapes that you want to change the color of. So that's it for module 4. I hope you guys learned it. So bye guys, see you in the next module. Next time we're going to be going over variables and types.